In Sunderland's case, I think, everyone, well, most people in football would make Sheffield United the strong favourites in that game.
Yep.
I didn't think Sunderland were very good in the semi-final against Coventry. I thought over the two legs, Coventry were, in quotation marks, the better side.
Yeah.
And Sunderland found a way. They've got phenomenal culture, led by Luke O'Nien, who I remember signing and him turning up at Sunderland with his little car with all his worldly belongings packed in the back, eager look on his face. And in his first match for us, he was playing in midfield, which he almost never has played in since this day, and was subbed off at half-time in disgrace against Charlton, in fact. And since then has grown into the most extraordinary club captain, who drives the value, drives the whole values and the culture of the entire club in a way that you just don't often see in the modern game these days. He's played more than 300 games for the club, and really has been a centerpiece of how they've been able to keep on driving forward over the last few years. But if you were to look at the two semi-finals, Sheffield United thrashing Bristol and Sunderland just about nurdling and nudging their way past Coventry, you'd think that Sheffield United would be the strong favourites, which in turn potentially could take a little bit of the pressure off Sunderland, and perhaps, they will come out and show us something that they haven't done in the last 2 or 3 months. And if they do, it'd be absolutely fantastic. I think up in the Premier League, it will depend greatly on the quality of their recruitment. There will be money available because they will know that their revenues in the Premier League are going to be very, very large. Their match day income is going to be vast. They've got huge hospitality areas, massive merchandising. It's not just that they've got a big stadium. They've just got a huge fan base that generates massive revenues when things are heading in the right direction. So their recruitment over the last 5 years, probably, since in the first year or year and a half, we made some mistakes, which are well documented. Also, some very good moves like Luke and etc. Since I appointed Christian Speakman, the sporting director, and Stuart Harvey, the recruitment head, all those years ago, really the recruitment has been consistently good. And they've got a very young team. They've got the youngest team in the Championship, so it's not unreasonable to think that a lot of those players are still improving, heading in the right direction. So the question then will be how can they just get that little bit of experience, that little bit of know-how and nous into the team to enable some of the young improving players to keep on going? When I look at Mayenda and Isidore up front, I think you've got something there. You've got pace, you've got some real guile and some real sort of elite quality, but that is going to need to be paired with a bit of know-how, because I think as has been seen this season with Ipswich, you can have that type of team, but without having a few Premier League players who actually understand how to manage the game, you do struggle.
Yeah, well, as a keener student of the Championship than I would like to be, given West Bromwich Albion's now 4-year stay in that division, I have to say Sheffield United for me are the clear favourites, and Albion actually ran them close twice. 2 very good games against Sheffield United, but I do think they are a class above. I think perhaps they were slightly flattered, Sheffield United, by the 6-0 defeat over 2 legs of Bristol City, who I was astonished to see make the playoffs. They're one of the worst teams I've seen at the Hawthorns last season, but they still